Have you ever caught yourself overthinking a situation so much that it starts to feel worse than it actually is? Maybe it's a simple text message that someone hasn't replied to, and suddenly your mind spins out of control. Did I say something wrong? Are they ignoring me? Do they hate me now? Or maybe it's a decision you need to make. And you analyze it so much that you become completely paralyzed by fear of making the wrong choice. Here's the truth. Most of our suffering doesn't come from reality. It comes from the stories we tell ourselves about reality. And that's exactly what Joseph Nguyen's best-selling book, Don't Believe Everything You Think, is all about. Today, we're going deep into this powerful book to uncover the illusions created by your mind, the reason we suffer, and most importantly, how you can free yourself from this mental trap to live a life of peace, clarity, and joy. By the end of this video, you might just start seeing the world and yourself in an entirely new way. Let's dive in. Joseph Nguyen isn't here to give you the same old self-help advice. He's not telling you to think positively, set goals, or hustle harder. In fact, he challenges the entire way we've been taught to think. The book has struck a chord with millions because it speaks to something we all experience: the feeling of being trapped inside our own heads. At some point, we've all been victims of our own thoughts, whether it's self-doubt, anxiety, fear, or regret. But what if those thoughts were never real to begin with? That's the radical message of this book. Most of the thoughts that cause us stress, worry, and suffering are completely made up by our own minds. Let's break down the key lessons that can set you free. Your thoughts are not reality. Think of a time when you were completely convinced that something bad was going to happen. Maybe you were sure you were going to fail a test, bomb an interview, or make a fool of yourself in a social situation. Then, it didn't happen. The interview went fine, the test wasn't as hard as you expected, and nobody even noticed the mistake you were worried about. But for hours, days, or even weeks, your mind tortured you over something that wasn't real. Nguyen uses the example of a person standing on a bridge, looking down at the water. If this person has never had a fear of heights, they would simply see the water, the movement of the river, and the way the sunlight reflects on it. But if this person has a fear of heights, their mind starts creating danger that isn't actually there. What if I fall? What if the bridge collapses? What if I lose control and jump? Same bridge, same water, two completely different experiences because of the thoughts they choose to believe. So the next time your mind tells you a scary or stressful story, ask yourself, is this actually happening? Or is my mind just creating a fearful version of reality? The root of suffering is thought. We assume that external events cause our suffering. But Nguyen argues that suffering doesn't come from what happens to us. It comes from our thoughts about what happens to us. Imagine two people losing their jobs. One person thinks, this is a disaster. I'll never find another good job. I'm a failure. They spiral into stress, anxiety, and depression. The other person thinks, maybe this is a chance for me to do something even better. Maybe I was meant for something greater. They start exploring new opportunities and grow from the experience. Same situation, completely different experience because of their thoughts. Nguyen shares a powerful example of a monk who was imprisoned for years under brutal conditions. Instead of seeing himself as a victim, he used this time for deep meditation and self-discovery. He later said, "They could imprison my body, but they could never imprison my mind." This is what sets people free: the realization that external events don't control you. Your thoughts about them do. So the next time something bad happens, pause. Instead of reacting with fear or frustration, ask yourself, what if this isn't bad? What if this is just an opportunity in disguise? Overthinking is the enemy of peace. We often believe that if we just think hard enough, we can figure out the perfect solution to every problem. But the reality? Overthinking doesn't lead to clarity. It leads to confusion, anxiety, and self-doubt. Nguyen compares the mind to a muddy glass of water. The more you stir it, the cloudier it becomes. But if you stop stirring and let it settle, the water becomes clear. Our thoughts work the same way. When we constantly analyze, replay, and worry, we only make things worse. But when we let go, clarity naturally arises. Here's a simple experiment. The next time you're stuck in overthinking, try stopping for just 1 minute. Take a deep breath and observe your thoughts without engaging with them. Just let them come and go, like clouds in the sky. You'll notice something incredible the less you react to your thoughts. The quieter your mind becomes. Letting go is the path to freedom. Nguyen gives a powerful metaphor. Imagine you're holding a burning rope, but you refuse to let go. The tighter you grip, the more it burns. Your thoughts work the same way. The more you attach to painful thoughts, the more suffering you create. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means recognizing that you don't have to believe everything. If a thought is causing suffering, try this. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Does believing it bring me peace or pain? If the answer is pain, then why hold on to it? Who transformed their lives by changing their relationship with their thoughts. One of the most powerful examples is a man who spent years in therapy for anxiety and depression. He tried everything: medications, self-help books, and endless overanalyzing of his childhood traumas. Nothing worked. Then he had a simple realization: his suffering wasn't coming from his past, but from the thoughts he was choosing to believe in the present. The moment he stopped giving power to those thoughts, his anxiety disappeared. This is the power of understanding that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are not reality. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. Suffering comes from thought, not circumstances. Your mind creates most of your pain. Overthinking creates confusion, not clarity. The more you let go, the clearer things become. Letting go is the path to peace. You don't need to fix every thought. Just stop attaching to the ones that cause suffering. For the next 24 hours, question every negative thought that arises. Instead of assuming it's true, ask yourself, do I really need to believe this? Try it, and you might just realize that most of your stress was never real to begin with. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching, and remember, just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. See you in the next video.